metallic gold. Again, 4 by 12 is our canvas size. And this is a skinny one. So we're gonna literally start out just by painting this canvas black, okay? So I'm just gonna get some black and we're gonna start painting. And I'm gonna take 2 seconds, let me see. And I thought I could add, hang on, I'm gonna add the link to join. Real quick, I thought I could copy and paste it, but apparently I'm not that technological because it didn't work. So I'm gonna type this in real quick, give me 1 second. The shattered circle. Y'all, I tell you what, I am a hot mess when it comes to knowing how to do this and being efficient at this. I paint, I can teach, I can't do tech. So it is S-P-R-I-N-G, spring. So obviously I can't even type, sunflower. Challenge. So hopefully that link works. theshattered-circle.com/spring-sunflower-challenge. I don't know if that worked or not. I can't even type correctly, so we're gonna go ahead and just get some black paint on. Did that work? I don't think it worked. We're gonna get some black paint on our art piece and just keep on going. If we need to, we can retype that later. So I'm gonna grab a brush. I want one a little bigger than that. I'm just gonna grab a little bit of a larger, this is like a 3/4 inch. I don't want that one. A little bit. Let's see, this will do. Didn't work, did it? Okay, I'll have to get to that in a second. I'm just gonna go ahead and paint the edge of my canvas first. Just get that black on there because you don't want, I just splattered it all over my desk, my glass, my little sign. So, because if you're painting a black, something really dark on the front, you definitely want to paint your sides. I don't paint my sides very often unless they are dirty and need cleanup, or if it's dark on the front and needs that continuation. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. It's working, yay! We'll get that done. I'm just going to get this done really quick. This is the boring part for me. It's like, oh Lord, nobody wants to watch you paint the sides. But it must be done. It must be done. We'll get this right all in that little fold where it's folded over. Make sure you get that so you don't have a big white line on the black. This black, the Anita's white is turned out to be kind of icky, but this black is really great. 1 coat coverage over white. It's kind of spectacular actually. Almost done, and then we'll get the front. All right. Now we're just gonna do, we're just gonna do the same thing to the front. Yay, Amy, thank you, Sandy. So I am just going to get this black on the front side, just 100% coverage. Oop, I don't want to get my shirt ties in it. Need to tuck those in. Thank you, Emmy. So it is my duty for Christmas dinner tomorrow, Christmas lunch, to make the deviled eggs. Now, y'all, I don't really cook anymore, and deviled eggs, boiled eggs, if they're expecting them to be pretty, they're gonna be in for a big surprise, because I don't know what the secret is, and maybe some of you guys can give me some pointers, but every time I make boiled eggs, they look like somebody mangled them. I can't make a pretty boiled egg. Like when you take the outer shell off, it always sticks, like the membrane sticks to the shell, and they end up looking like somebody already ate them. And I don't know what the secret is, but they have tasked me with deviled eggs. And although I know how to make them and make them delicious, did I say Christmas? I meant Easter. Y'all, I'm crazy. Yeah, Easter dinner, Easter lunch. They're gonna taste good, but I have a problem with making them look pretty. Now, my younger sister normally is the Easter egg, deviled egg maker, but she got fired from the job at Christmas. I don't know if it was this year or last year, because she made them so ugly. And I got fired from making pecan pie for the same reason. So I'm not sure. I may. Hey, look. Maybe that's a good sign. Maybe if I make them ugly, I won't have to make them again, right? I'm gonna dry this really quick, so hang on. You're gonna hear some noise. Generous amount of salt before cooking. All right. Christmas, Easter, it's all Jesus' holiday. Let's see what that says. Oh, that's a great idea, Candy. This is almost dry. What, Mary Ellen? I have made many a pecan pie, and I don't know what happened. 2 years in a row, I made pecan pie, and they were horrific. So the first year, like 3 years ago when I first moved here, I made a pecan pie, and we cut into it, and it was completely runny. You could drink it. It was pecan soup, all right? So then I'm gonna put some of this Splendid Gold on my palette. So then the next year, I burnt it, because I was so paranoid about the pie being undercooked that I burned it. So this past year, I bought pie from Sam's. Thank you, Rebecca. This past Christmas, I bought a pie from Sam's, and I was like, y'all ain't getting me this year. I am buying pie. Daring y'all to say something. So, anywho, so I put some Splendid Gold Metallic on my plate. I know it's hard to see because my plate's dirty, but I like to use them until they're super icky. So I'm gonna take a palette knife, just a little plastic palette knife, and I'm gonna dip the underside of my palette knife, so it's the bottom edge, and and this may take several passes, and I may have to dry it and do it again, but I want this to be very organic and fluidy. I don't want it to be like a perfectly paint striped line. So I'm gonna start kind of about 1 inch down on the right corner, all 12 peeled perfectly. Boil for 10 minutes, transfer it into ice water. Oh, I can do that. So it's right-hand corner, and I'm gonna come down about the same width into, see, I told you it was gonna take more than once, to the left corner. So we're gonna load it again, and we're just gonna keep doing it, load it, until it is what we want. All right, just keep going. And I'm barely touching, I went too far, but that's okay. I'm barely touching. You don't wanna scrape it across. You're just kind of laying your palette knife to where it barely touched that canvas, and then pull, push and pull. Well, that wasn't 1 inch on either end, but we're working with it. Just kind of push and pull until It's kind of like just buttering, but you don't want to tear up your bread, right? Just butter that canvas. Might need a little more. I think what I'm going to do is add a little bit more. Then we're going to dry it and add another quick coat. So let's dry that. And it might take a minute because I want to dry it. I don't want to dry it on super hot. Plus I'm having a hot flash, so there is that. So I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to hit it one more time, just so it's nice and opaque. Originally, like I said earlier, I wanted to use gold leaf, but I could not find any of my stuff. Excuse me, got the hiccups now. I couldn't find any of my gold leaf stuff, and so I said, well, I'm gonna have to use paints. Yeah, that's a good question, Wanda. Do you let the water boil, then put the eggs in, or do you put the eggs in the cold water and bring it to a boil? All good questions. Somebody give us some help here. That's excellent, Karen, the yogurt containers. Speaking of which, I have some yogurt in the back fridge. I think I need a little snacky when we're done. That's still wet. Metallic takes a minute, but I also don't want it to get super hot. So I'm going to turn the temperature down. Oh, that's up. Hang on. Hot, hot, hot. Okay. I just want to air dry it. I don't want it to really be hot. It's going to take just a minute. Oh, I left a fingerprint, so apparently it's not dry. Yeah, I don't have an Instapot. Thank you, Rebecca. I put in cold water with eggs to kind of temper them. I need all the tricks of the trade. All right. Oh, I smeared it and got it on my shirt right there. Look at that. Apparently that's not dry. Eggs in cold water bring to a boil. Well, that makes sense. If they would burst. So I'll tell you a trick my sister told me. I don't know if it's true, but we're going to try it. She said before you put the eggs, and you guys tell me if you've heard this trick before. Before you put the eggs in the water, you take the fat end, the more rounded end, and you tap it with like the back of the spoon till you hear a pop. Then she said that releases the membrane from the egg shell and helps the eggs come out of the shell easier. I don't know, never heard that, but we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it. All right, I think that's good. That took a minute. So we're gonna add some more gold. Yeah, I need all the advice. We're gonna add a little more gold. And what I do like about this is how it's blotchy. You know, it's the organic nature of the gold. So let's add this gold. This canvas is kind of sunk down in the middle a little. So if you have a canvas like that where it kind of sinks in the middle, what you can do is take water, take a mister like a water bottle and mist like the inside of the canvas. Kind of hard to do here, but you can do the outside as well. If you mist it with water and then let it dry, it will help tighten up that cotton. All right, let's get a little here. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more to the middle. Then we're gonna get that dry. I'm gonna make this a little bit heavier. So I got a little more paint there. Very light touch. Very light touch. And we're gonna get that dry. All right, we'll get that dry, and then we're gonna move on to our cross. So pretty. So hey Barbara, let's see if we can get it dry. I don't have any heat going on here. If you're doing this at home, I would just let it dry naturally. Just give it 30 minutes or so. We don't have time for that. So this is no heat. It's kind of a cool blast. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to just do this. I'm going to shamelessly do this. Don't you want to make this with me? We still have kits. We overmade this year because we always like sell out so fast. And now I'm like, okay guys, let me buy these kits. You can still see it's wet, so it might take a second. Feel like I should sing a song, but y'all don't want that. So I did upload, if any of you guys, I'm going to tell y'all this story. I'm going to turn this down a little. If any of you guys are following Steve on YouTube, I did upload some more videos this morning. I literally woke up at 4:30 in the morning. I could not go back to sleep. So I still had 2 days of videos for him to upload. So I went in my office and I sat down with my jammies on and uploaded and edited his last 2 days of videos. So if you are following him, you can go catch up. Hey, Dawn. Yay. You got this, girl. So he is, there's a link on my page, and I'll post it again this evening. I like to post it in the evenings. So I'm posting it on my business page. Thank you, Lane. Posted it on my business page. So I'm kind of trying to post it in the evenings because some people probably don't care. But the name of his channel, I'm going to turn this off for a second, is Hey Hey Hikes. That's H-E-Y Hikes. Hey Hey Hikes. And I'm going to turn this back on. Hey Hey Hikes. And he is on day 6 of his Appalachian Trail adventure. That is still wet right there, so I'm going to kind of focus in. So I'll be posting a link again tonight, and every 2 or 3 days, I'll post a link so you guys can follow and support him on his adventure. I'll tell you this too, he is very much missed at home. Ain't nobody cooking me supper. Let's see. That is still wet, but I think I'm gonna stop this for a minute, and I'm gonna test out a couple of things. So I'm gonna just let that sit. It's really kind of wet right there. I don't want to put my finger in it because it'll leave a fingerprint. But I want to show you my glass. I want to show you what I did while I was kind of prepping. Thanks for spreading the love, Gail. Again, spreading the love means let your friends know that we're here and inviting them to join in on our lives and or follow the page. And as appreciation, can y'all hear me? Art and Soul by Lisa says she cannot hear me, but give me some thumbs up if you guys can hear me. Thumbs up, okay. So we are going to gift this finished piece, this cross scale. We're going to gift this to someone who has sprinkled the love, and we are going to draw a name. You come back and tell me you did it. We're going to draw a name, and oh, that's going to be so cute. We're going to draw a name and gift this piece. Now, I pulled these little glass strips from our glass strips collection because they're kind of janky. You can see it's bigger on one end than the other. There's ones that we wouldn't gone. Sound has gone crazy in and out. Lord help me, Jesus. I don't know what to do. I'm telling you, I'm fighting with my internet company. The service here, they assured me, I'm paying a fortune. They assured me I would not have one iota of a problem. And now I'm worried. I may have to do the challenge in my house, and that is going to be a pain in the derriere. So anyway, these are some cute little strips that were like mismatched, that they're not straight, nice and straight. So I'm going to use these. Lou says her sound is fine. So does Carol, thank goodness. And I'm going to use 2 of these. These are kind of iridescent. Can you see how it's flashing? Kind of pink and purple, both of these. Can you see that? And I actually took, I don't know if you can see this, but I actually took my gold pen and like drew along the edge of this piece. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that or not, because I thought it might help, you know, make it flash, but it doesn't make any difference really whatsoever. So I'm not going to do that on the rest, but I am going to lay down my little glass pieces, my vertical. What I'm going to do first though is I'm going to take some glue. This is just the bunny replay wouldn't play. I don't know. This is Aileen's Clear Tacky Glue from Hobby Lobby. Can you see it? Yay. So I'm just going to make me a little line right down the middle to help hold my glue in place while we resin. I'm going to put a tiny bit of that same glue, just a few dots, on one side of that glass, and I'm going to just sandwich those 2 pieces together. So now I'm going to pull this one down. So they're this one is from here to here, and this one's from here to here. Just taking 2 short pieces to make one long one. So we're going to put that in, make sure it's nice and straight. Now I have another piece that needs to be cut. So I'm just going to take, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to take my little scoring tool, see? And yeah, that would be a good idea. I'm gonna break them in half right here. And I'm just gonna take it here. That might be too big, let me look. It only needs to be about that long. So that, need 4 of those. So I'm gonna cut 1, 2, whoops. 1, 2. Oops, I need that one for measurements. 3, 4. So now we have 4 pieces, one for each side, 2 for each side. And I'm going to do the same thing. I am going to take a tiny bit of glue. Wouldn't that be pretty, Christy? Didn't occur to me until I was doing the gold. I thought, well, gosh, why couldn't we have done that? I'm going to put 1 little dot on 1 piece on each side so that we can then lay this one on top of that glue, sandwich that together, and then we'll lay it right in here. I'm going to use my pen and draw that on here and see what difference it makes. Oopsie. Dagnabbit. I'm having trouble. Hang on. I got to get this under my nose so I can see what I'm doing. There. All right. So now we have that clear cross on that black and gold. I think I'm going to take my pen. This is that gold marker that we used on our bunny. This is a scoring tool, glass scoring tool. Hobby Lobby is where this came from. This is a Deco Color Premium Gold Metallic Marker. And I'm going to prime it, make sure it's primed. And I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to go right along the top edge of my glass strip, just to help that gold pop some. All right, does help. Let me prime it again. There we go. There's some kids on motorcycles going up and down the streets. There we go. I'm going to show you this close up so you can see. And we're going to hit this with our heat gun as well. So we make sure that metallic ink is dry before we do anything else. Oh, you're welcome, Lisa. So let's try that. Make sure it's good and dry. All right. That ought to do it. Now I'm going to take black glass. Not black, I'm sorry, gold. Told y'all I was crazy today, y'all. This is metallic gold. I believe that this nugget is a little big for this piece, so we're not going to use that. Or that, or that, or that. We'll put those pieces over there. That'd be good for something, but not this. And I'm going to take a little bit in each hand, and I'm just going to drop it onto my cross, right where the horizontal meets. I'm going to throw this in the trash. I've got a little tiny piece of glass in my finger here. I can't get out. And it's hurting me, so I'm trying to be careful. So now I'm going to spread this down a little, micromanage it just a little, like it to come down. And then I'm going to take a piece of glass. This is glass chips. So if you've seen glass chips on my website, this is what that is. This is my own personal little stash. So we have several colors in here, so maybe you guys can help me pick a color. I'm kind of leaning towards a couple of different things. This one has a little bit of red and gold on it. So I'm going to show you this one. So this is option A. I'm going to give it to you real close. That is option A. Got a little, it's clear mostly with a tiny smidge of a red purpley color. All right, that's option A. Option B is this purple and gold. Not exactly my favorite, but I'm just going to set it there for a second. But there is option B. A little bit of purple. Here is my favorite. You guys tell me what you think. This is option C, and it has a smidge of teal to it. Can you see that? Just a little bit of a seafoamy teal color. So what do you think, guys? A, B, or C? A is red, B is purple, C is teal. So give me some help here. I'm going to be gifting this to one of you who have invited others to join our live, and so it could be yours, so it'd be great if you pick. What do you think? Gail says option C. Carol says option A, option C. We're going to do best 3 out of 5. C, C, C. All right, it's C. We're going with C. So I'm going to take just a little dollop of glue and put it in the center on that top of my glass. Then I'm going to put a little bit also on the underside of my little glass bit so it kind of stays in place while we get ready to resin, all right? So we'll use these on something else. We'll put that away. So this is our, look, teal, 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 see that? So I'm gonna turn this sideways so you can kind of see it. a little better. But we are ready to add our resin now. And I do like that little pop of green. Oh, thank you for asking Rose that, Barbara. That is very sweet. I hate that Facebook doesn't allow or doesn't have closed caption on lives, but she can listen in on the replay, but that's still not quite as fun. So we are gonna get ready to resin, and I think I'm gonna make half an ounce of resin. Let's try that and see what happens. So I'm gonna mark my cup. Thank you for the stars. I'm gonna mark my cup a quarter ounce. So quarter ounce line here. And half ounce line. It's so hard to see. And I don't see that great anyway. So I've marked my cup, and I can use one baby cup because as long as you have as much space in air as you do in mix, it's good, okay? If we were gonna do a full ounce, we don't have any space to mix. So you would wanna do that in 2 cups and then pour into a larger cup because you do need that mixing space. So let's put some gloves on. I love making the crosses, Vera. They're my favorite thing. You know, probably one of the things I sold the most over the 10, 12 years that I've been doing this is crosses. Thank you very much, Betty. Thank you, Laurie, if I didn't say thank you already. All right, so gloved up, let's mix some resin. I'm gonna scoochie this over. And we're gonna start with the hardener. And I use art resin, pretty all across the board. Been using it for years. I have used many, thank you, Jana, many other resins, and this is by far the best and my favorite. So I've got to go slow because that quarter ounce will go fastly. It'll hit that line before you can blink your eye. All right, see? And now we'll fill it up with part 2, which is the resin. And go slow. If you're mixing them, if you're new, I always tell people mix in 2 cups if you're new, until you're super confident that you can measure good. I always say mix in 2 cups. All right, I'm gonna use, because I haven't found my little coffee stir sticks that I use for mixing in these baby cups, I'm gonna just use my palette knife again. So I'm gonna start stirring. So Becky, I don't know if I saw Catherine or not. Have I missed Catherine? So if somebody will time me for 3 minutes, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, Becky. Becky's gonna time me for 3 minutes. So while we're mixing and stirring, and I'm mixing this really slow, especially in a cold climate, your resin is going to be cold and potentially need to be warmed up a little, and there's a whole process to that. But you don't want to mix it really fast. You need to really go slow and just kind of leisurely stir for 3 minutes, okay? Scrape the bottom of your container, scrape the sides. And if anybody has any questions at all, thank you, Sandy, any questions at all about the upcoming spring challenge that is a week from Monday, I would love to answer any questions or address any concerns you might have. I'm going to just kind of tell you what it's all about again. It is, I'm going to scoot this over in front of me while I tell you, while I stir. So this is what we're going to be doing in our spring challenge. It is a 4-day challenge, and that doesn't mean all day for 4 days, obviously. We're gonna start on Monday at 7 p.m. and we're gonna paint the background, okay? So it's just gonna be probably 30 minutes or so of painting. And then we'll do the foreground on Tuesday, we'll do details on Wednesday, and then we'll do glass and resin on Thursday. So we break it up over 4 days so that it is bite-sized bits and not too much of a challenge for anybody. It's not intimidating. It makes it easier for people to consume. So I'm going to be there with you live in this challenge, walking you through every step of the way, answering your questions, helping you out. We're going to have a bunch of our members from our Shattered Circle in there, helping you guys out, walking you through. It's a $10 registration fee. That gets you into the workshop, okay? And what you get is a supply list. For your $10, you get the 4 live videos. You get 2 more additional videos showing you how to break glass and how to tint your own glass. And you get a supply list, a full supply list, a tracer, so that you can transfer your image to your canvas. And what else? Did I miss something? Tracer, supply list. I guess that's it. But you also, once you register, you will get a link for an optional kit. So if you wanted to buy a kit, that kit is $37.95. And it has everything you need to create this except paint. So you would only need to go and buy the paint from the Hobby Lobby store. Thank you, Becky. Paint from your Walmart, wherever, from your craft store to complete this project. And we do give you a list of all of the luscious colors, all right? So Becky said time is up. So we are gonna go ahead and put our resin on our piece. I'm gonna scrape all the way around one last time just for insurance. And then I'm gonna set this down real quick while I grab something to elevate my canvas. I don't know where my blocks are either, y'all. I'm telling you, I can't find nothing. Nothing. So we'll elevate my canvas in case we have some drippies. And I'm gonna get my little resin cup and we're gonna start drizzling. Now I like to start on crosses, I like to start with my cross itself. So I wanna drizzle right on top of that linear piece of glass. That glass is sitting on its edge. That is probably, normally I do 1/2 inch crosses, 1/2 inch wide, but this one's skinnier than that. That's why it's in my scrap pile. And it's sitting on its edge. So we're gonna cover that and make sure you get that end really well. We're gonna cover those edges, get that end piece. We're gonna get that glass chip in the middle. Hey Judy, hey Mom. Cover that, a little bit more there. Then we're gonna come down and I'm just gonna drizzle all the way down this cross glass. And if you hit the top really generously, it just rolls down the edges of the cross and covers those sides right there really nicely. So get that covered. Now I'm gonna come back up and I'm gonna do my little glass bits. Oh, lay down. Make sure all my shattered glass is covered, all that gold. I don't know what's going on with this stir stick. It's got dried resin on it, so it's acting crazy. I don't know, it's like, hang on, I'm just gonna do this. It's acting weird. I don't know what's happening. It's like it's stringy. This is strange. It's like gel. I don't know if there's something with the resin. Well, now it's not. All right, I'm gonna dump this out onto my canvas. That's weird, I'm gonna have to watch this one. I hate when weird things happen and I don't understand. I'm gonna dump this out, throw that away. I got resin dripped here too, I need to clean that up. I'm gonna grab a paper towel while it's in my vision, because otherwise I'll probably put my hand in it. And I'm gonna use my gloved hand and just smear the resin around all the way to the edge of my canvas. I don't know what that's, maybe there was something in my cup I didn't know. So I'm gonna move that resin all the way to the edge of my canvas, and I may go around the edges. I didn't tape off the back side, but we may pull it around just because it's black. I didn't know my Easter bunny and I had regrets. So just move it to the edge. So now I'm just gonna make sure it's all the way covered. And now while I have this resin on my fingertips, I'm literally, thank you Vera, thank you Gail, I'm just gonna take my finger and rub just the tiniest bit, just enough to wet it. I don't want it dripping over the edge, but I'm gonna take it in my hand and I'm just gonna run my finger on the edge just to put the tiniest amount. So it's not even, I mean, it's nothing to speak of. Let's go to this side. I'm just gonna grab a little bit up on my finger and just add that all the way around. So that should eliminate any dripping because it's really not any resin to speak of. All right, I'm gonna take these off. Resin layer, and I'm going to hit this with my heat gun to pop any bubbles that we might have created while maybe it did. It was just right in there. I'm going to see if I can find a hair. So we're going to pop any bubbles we may have created mixing, because I don't see anything anywhere else, any other issues. All right. And it is done. Look how pretty. Now I feel like I need to scooch this over just a little. So I'm gonna just use my little pick that Miss Lulu gave me, a bead pick, and scoot that over where I feel like it needs to be. So check it out. What do you think? Oh, it's so pretty. I'm gonna turn it this way a little bit so you can see the whole thing close up. I love the way that turned out. Now I have resin on my hands.